All right, last video of the week. You made it through the week without knowing what the workouts are. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I would enjoy it. Maybe someday I can have somebody program a week and I don't know what I'm getting into, and I'll just come in here and I'll stay off and whatever, right? But I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it made it a little more fun, a little twist. I think it's something I'll bring back more often. I like the idea. Not once a month or whatever, because I know some of you live and die knowing. I don't know how many times I can hear 5 a.m. and people are kind of milling in, people are kind of filtering at 4:45, 4:50 in the morning. Yes, some of you afternoon people are up that early in the morning. They're coming in and we haven't started warming up for the 5 a.m. workout, and they're already talking about the next day's workout. So I know some people live and die by that stuff, so I'm not gonna take it away from you, but every once in a while I might do this. All right, last video of the week. I wanted to piggyback on when I was talking about the weightlifting belt video and hurting your back and what you can do to help not hurt your back. Number one, don't sit down so much. Number one, don't sit down so much. Number two, don't sit down so much. Move. Moving will help your back. There are some very smart people out there that say our generation or this generation, whatever this generation is, maybe it's the 20-somethings, maybe it's my generation, whatever. Right now, the biggest issue for overall human health in the United States of America is our propensity to sit. Previously, it was smoking. They're equating sitting to smoking. That's how hard it is on your health overall. As it relates to your back, your hamstrings, for lack of a better term, are the biceps of your back or of your leg. And if I walked around all day like this, or I spent the majority of my day like this, after a while my elbow would really start to hurt. Because every time I went like this, my bicep would be pulling on my elbow joint. It's not a great analogy. It's kind of a good analogy, but not the best, because obviously the tricep is bigger than your bicep and your hamstring is bigger than your quad. But again, if you have that big muscle that's meant to be elongated, consistently and constantly contracted, when it goes to elongate, when your leg goes to extend, it doesn't like it. It doesn't like being in that position anymore because you've left it squeezed up. And so when it starts to strengthen and lengthen out, it's gonna pull and try to pull itself back together to that contracted state. Huge muscle, biggest muscle in your body. Where is it gonna pull? It's gonna pull in two places. You're gonna feel it in two main places. One, the most people feel it, is their lower back. Now it has to go through your glutes too, but your glutes are also really, really big and they're not gonna be affected as much. But the little itty bitty muscles in your rectors and stuff in your lower back, that's where you're gonna start to feel it. If you sit a lot, your big hamstring muscles are gonna pull in your little back muscles, and that's where you feel the pain. We come in, we deadlift, we squat, we do whatever, and you tire that muscle out, the hamstring. If you're doing deadlifts properly, it's a hamstring heavy lift. You've worked it hard. It's hard to work. It goes and sits, all of a sudden just shrivels up and sits there for like 8 hours. You're sitting at your desk most of your day, and then you go try to strengthen and lengthen it out. Oh my gosh, my back. It's your hamstrings that are super, super tight, not your back. Once again, this is not helping your hamstrings. It's probably not helping your back. Don't sit so much. The second place you might feel it might be your knees. You might feel it in your knees also. But mainly people are feeling it in their backs. Not only are they sitting all day, but also probably sitting kind of hunched over on the keyboard, whatever, doing their thing, right? Not good for your back. Sitting is probably the number one thing you can do to help not sit. Is the number one thing you probably do to make sure your back feels better. And I don't mean just standing upright, standing tall at your desk. What you actually would want if you have a stand-up desk is a little stool under your desk to where you can put a foot up. After 5 or 6 minutes, switch feet, put the other foot up, and switch back and forth, kind of keep moving around a little bit, right? Don't just stand there straight, but kind of move around a little bit. What I used to do when I used to be stuck in an office all day is I had 3 30-minute windows blocked in my calendar to go walk. I would get up and go walk and just move around. And people couldn't schedule meetings against that. If I had a boss's boss schedule meeting, I would just move my walk around a little bit, obviously. But I wouldn't let somebody schedule a meeting against that time because that was my time. And people need to make time for themselves at work. Whether that's going to have your lunch break, whatever the case is, if you can go out and go outside and take a quick 15-minute walk down the stairs to the elevator, unless it's like 20 floors, walk down the stairs, go for a 10-minute walk around the building, walk back up the stairs, you'll do your back a big service. You find yourself sitting in your little computer chairs at home all the time now that we're in a pandemic and nobody's going to the office, or thankfully people are going back in the office. Thank God it's getting back to normal. If you find yourself sitting in your chair at home, you're probably even less comfortable. You're probably sitting in your couch with your feet up or something crazy like that, in a terrible position for your back. That's what's hurting your back, not in here. Your back might be fatigued from sitting in a terrible position, and you wake up in the morning and your back muscles are tired, you're tired, and you come in your lift and it feels like it's coming in here, but it's probably coming from home. And I would say if you can take care of yourself at home, some of us are really, really tight. Maybe you stretch more often. Maybe you stretch those hamstrings a little more often. Do some toe touches. Do some stuff at night before you go to bed. Do some stretching of that nature. Will lend itself a big part in here, right? Lastly, we can work on that core stuff. So I talked the first one, but I think a lot of what causes people to feel pain is not necessarily what's going on in here, but it's what's going on out there. So I think I'll end the video this week there before I go on a longer rant talking about other stuff. I hope you had a good week. I hope some of these videos were helpful and informative to you, and have a good weekend.